Okay. So if we don't have anything, I think I'm gonna start doing at the end of each of our live streams on Saturday. Um I'll roll our or spin our random number wheel. So then we can we can spin our random number wheel, so then we'll be able to have a number to look out for each week, and then at the beginning of each live stream we can go through where we have seen that vibration in those themes. So I think we're going to start that this week. Oh, colors. So it's very interesting for colors, because colors have they're one of the few vibrations that actually have two um they have two different vibrations, and it depends on what you're using. So I typically like to just use their name, but because they're on, like the color spectrum of like what wavelength they are, they also have that as well. So we're not going to worry about that. Maybe we could talk about that another time, about like where on the wavelength and how that wavelength actually impacts um, the vibration. Oh, hi, baby love. Thank you so much for coming. We were just chatting about colors. Have you seen any angel numbers or any numbers this week that you want to talk about? So we're talking about colors right now. So they have the wavelength that gives you like a vibration, but they also have the vibration of their name, um because we call them by name. So like for example, what are some of your favorite colors? While you're giving me your favorite colors, I'm going to do blue, and you can give me some others to do also. Um But when we say a color, that's the vibration of the name of it. And so it gives off that vibration. Um, but also when we see the color, now we're getting that vibration of the wavelength. So, oh, blue. Perfect. And we'll do pink and we'll do purple. So what we do, uh, it's I don't know why I didn't like put any of these in the actual color, but whatever. So what we do is we actually will just do the letters. So like for blue, it's 2 plus 12 plus 21 plus 5, um which actually adds up to think I think it's 40. But I'm gonna do, have a calculator just to make sure. But yes, it's 40. So when we say the word blue, um, we are putting out this 40 vibration, which is 4. And so, but when we're actually looking at blue, we're getting the 40 vibration because that's what we're thinking about, but also we're getting the wavelength vibration. So then it's both. Um, but I don't use the wavelength vibration as much because we usually use the name more than we think about like the actual vibration. It's kind of like astrology where we think about the names of the planets more than what is the vibration they're actually giving off because of when they were born. I don't do you know when Saturn was born? so so we can't get that vibration from them. Kind of the same way with like these different colors, and they have like a whole range. So it would have to be the exact color on that wavelength to get that exact number. So we just do it this way. So then for pink, We have 16 plus 9 plus 14 plus 11. And so then that one is 50. And what's interesting about 50 is it's also the numeric vibration of the word joy. There's another 5 again. Oh, I'm not doing division. I forgot to put the 5 in there. And then for purple, it's 16 plus 21 plus 18 plus 16 plus 12 plus 5. So this is how you can get your colors. I'll show you something else here in just a second. 16 plus 21 plus 18 plus 16 plus 12 plus 5. 88. Isn't that interesting right after the 8-8 portal? And so then with these all together, we can add them up. So like if we said them in a string of numbers, or we were like wearing all of them or describing something that's all of these colors, now that's 178. The other thing that you can do, and this is with anything, so with colors, with I do it a lot with like plants and animals because we just go off of their name or what they are. So like if it's a cat, then we just get the numerical vibration of the word cat. Because again, we don't know a lot of the times the exact birth date of the animals or like the trees. I don't even know what a tree birth date would be, but that would be the only way we could get the life path number. But what we could do, so if you say, oh, my favorite color is blue, you could take blue and then you could add your life path number to it. And then that tells you like how you resonate with that color. So like my life path number is 60. And so then that gets us 100. So when I'm interacting with the color blue, I'm drawing in a bunch of that God energy or that universal energy that I have no control over, and bringing in, I could use blue to help bring in a new energy. And so you could add your life path number, and that is really what we're supposed to be doing, is we're supposed to be adding our life path number to any of these numbers that we see, or any of like someone else's life path number. So for example, I hopefully that answers your question on colors. It's actually way more complicated than that, but that's at least the start of it. um but for example, if you were seeing, we could go ahead, since we have purple, we'll use 88. Say that you're seeing 88 a lot, or you are encountering themes of 88, which would be like reap what you sow, karma, any of those infinitely cycling energies, like habits, any of that kind of thing. What you could do is then add your life path number. So, Tarot Gothis, I know that your um, favorite color was purple. Do you know your life path number? I remember that we did it. Oh, I remember. 29. 29, I think, is your life path. You're that 11. Because I think it was Um, oh yeah, okay, 29. Yeah, because then Baby Love, I think you were a 6 like I was. But I don't remember if you were 60 the same as me. You might have been. I don't remember. But anyway, we can add these together. Um and so this can show you like what your vibrational interaction is between you and purple. So when we add this together, we get, let's see, 117. So, one of the reasons you probably like purple is it really vibes with you because when you're together with purple, you're generating this 9, and 9 is that first step. It's what you're supposed to be working on first in this path on your life path number. So, the vibration of purple is amping up this 9 with you that then is helping you to go on this life path. That's cool. Yeah, that's very cool. Okay, so you can add your life path number to anybody else's life path number, somebody else's name, um, to really anything. Oh, that's right. 9 is your favorite number too. That's why, and that would be why. It vibes with you well. Very interesting. Oh, hi, Judy. Thanks for coming. Really appreciate it. We were just talking about different numbers and then our different colors and how to use it with our life path number before we got started on hip hop vibration. Oh, because I do have an announcement today. Okay, so before I get there, anything else? Any other colors? Yeah, that was a good question. But so I'll repeat what I was saying when I first started is that what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna at the end of each of our live streams, I'm gonna do a random number, um, in a random number generator uh in the end of the live stream to give us a vibration or a number to watch for all throughout the week. And then we'll start the next live stream with seeing where we've seen that number. Everybody loves blue. Because look, Judy, we did blue. So blue is 40. And so then if you took 40 and added your life path number to it, then it you would change this. That's a very good question. Yes. Yes, it would. So like changing it from um so like back over here for purple, if we made it light purple, I just happen to know that the word light is 56. It's another 11. Oh, you're not late. You're right on time. We're just in here chatting. So the word light is 56. So if we did 56 plus the 88 so that it's light purple, now we're getting 144. Well, and for anybody that has ever heard anything biblical, that's an interesting number, with the 144 saints of heaven. But then if we took the 144 and added your life path number of 29, now we're getting 173, which is another 11. So this would mean that you could like purple. You could vibe with purple. Um, that purple really kind of helps you because when you're with purple or you're in purple, it's helping you by getting you to this 9. But if it's light purple, it probably does not feel the same, and it probably feels like less of a strong vibration for you because this light purple is getting you to the 2, which is your second step. And anything that tries to get us to go to our second step first, it could feel a little bit abrasive, like it could throw us off a little bit. Cool. Oh, 5. You know what? I used to love 5s. Um tell you a weird story. So I used to like 5s so much. Um and they made my brain feel really good. And so for anything that had a volume, I always had to have it on a 5. Like it had to be a multiple of 5. So like if I wanted to turn the TV up, I couldn't just turn it up to from like 15 to 17. I had to turn it up all the way to 20. I'm sure it drove everybody around me crazy. I don't do that as much anymore. I think because I've tapped into and accepted that I see all of these numbers and vibrations all the time. And so now 5 just doesn't feel the same anymore. But 5 is a good number. 5 change. So then we could do the same thing with dark. If we wanted to do add the word dark. So it'd be dark purple. So now, let's see. Dark is 34. Okay, your life path is 6. We just need to know the 2 digit of where it comes from. Because my life path is 6 also. But I think when we talked about it, your life path was 6 also, but it was a little bit different. Like the path was a little bit different, baby love. I think so. Because we were both 6s, but had different paths of getting there. I don't know. I could be wrong. So dark purple is 122. And so then if we add your life path number on there of 29, Tarot Gothis, now we get this 151. And in my portal video that came out, I think not this last week, but the week before, 151 was one of our big numbers. One of our big numbers where it was that 11 bringing forth that 5. And so dark purple will also feel very different. It might, but it you might not be as highly connected to it. So whatever you consider purple, just purple, is going to give you the highest vibration. Hi, cousin B. Thanks for coming. Yeah, I think you're right, Tarot Gothis. Um, I think Baby Loves it is a different. It's a different 6. But it still gets us to the 6. Okay, okay, okay. I have to get to what I discovered actually this morning. Well, because it was bothering me yesterday when I watched the premiere. of the review. I'm going to continue to do that, by the way, because I do think that's really good to be able to give everybody a review before we come in here. But what I discovered is, so watching the review, as everybody that's here knows, knows me well enough to know that I'm trying really hard not to plan as I come in here, but my Capricorn brain isn't going to allow that to like never happen. So I was actually going in and doing like the birth chart of hip hop before coming in here. Um, and it didn't feel right. It felt like something was off, like it wasn't meshing with the numbers. And then I saw that the dominating date of birth for hip hop is actually August 11th, not the 14th. So, in the numerology world, big mistake, big mistake. But it's so crazy because that 42-6 that we got with the 14th, it fits so well. So, I was waiting to be able to go through this with you all, um, to look at this again. So, we already know. Well, I know that I didn't spell hip hop wrong. So we know that hip hop, even though I'm not good at spelling, but hip hop is still that 72, which gets us to our 9. So it's resonating in this vibration that's really about ending things, like ending the way things have been done, the way things have been seen, the way things feel, in that whole music space. But then if we do this birthday, so again, we first add up. And so for anybody that doesn't have your life path number, this is how you calculate your life path number. And you can get your life path number now, your 2-digit life path number. So you first add up your digits of your year of birth. So you add those up so that they are separate. And so then for hip hop, this is 20. And then you add your 1 or 2 digit month. And then you add your 1 or 2 digit day. And it's really important to make sure that you keep this as a double digit and this as a double digit. So in a more traditional way of doing numerology, so what you see a lot of numerologists doing is they reduce everything to a single digit before they add them together. And that's how we get like our life path is 6 or our life path is 5. Um, but if we do that, then we don't get the 2-digit number that tells us our path to get there. So it's kind of like when we get the horoscopes and they say, oh, your sun sign is, like for me, it's Capricorn. So they say, oh, for your sun sign, you're a Capricorn. And so then they try and tell you about your day or try and tell you about who you are. And some of it will fit. Like, yes, I am an overthinker, like a Capricorn typically is. Yes, I like to work. I can be a workaholic. And yes, I do overthink and I do think a lot about money. More, it's about making money than actual money. But it leaves out all of the other planets, all the other vibrations that actually make me who I am. And so, oh man, Tarot Gothis is good. It is a 33, huh? Okay. So we want to have the whole path because that tells us how we get to the outcome, to that final place. And so here we do redo this math. Now hip hop is 39, is a 39 that goes to 12. And I've seen this. Oh, oh, wait a minute. wait just a minute. I gotta check something real quick. Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay. I thought so. So, anyway, first 39, and we'll move this over just a little bit. You can actually see. But this 39-12-3, this means that hip hop's life path, like its ultimate goal, is this 3. It's to bring growth to the world. So it's meant to really help the world grow. Like it's a growth factor. It's kind of like a catalyst, or it's like fertilizer. So hip hop is fertilizer to the world. But it does that, it brings that growth by changing perspectives. And that's this 12. So it changes perspectives. But the way it changes perspectives is that it ends cycle and then continues to grow. So where we've been having a lot of conversations about hip hop shifting and evolving and changing, it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to change perspectives. It's supposed to be constantly ending things and constantly growing. And so then the thing that I had to check is that the name Drake is also 39. So that would mean, it does not mean, not even close does it mean that Drake is hip hop. But it means that Drake is supposed to be doing the same thing in life as hip hop is in general. So he's supposed to be ending the way things are done and growing. He's supposed to constantly be ending and growing. But if he's not ending the way he does things, or the way he thinks about things, or the way that others around him are doing things, if he's not leading in that way, then he'll get stuck at that 9 and he won't be able to grow. And I think that's what we're seeing. So while we're seeing, and this is extra interesting, because while we're seeing hip hop as a whole is constantly changing and evolving, like it's ending the way things are done. Oh, thank you. That's right, plastic. Ending the way things are done. Well, he needs to be recycled then. Because that's his 9. He needs to change to something new. Time for a shift. But ending things and then being able to grow. That's the cycle. And we see that in hip hop always. Like we've always seen there be a new innovation, a new way of expression. It's constantly being pushed to evolve and be bigger. And it's when it doesn't evolve that it gets stuck. Same with our plastic friend here. But that's a good question, baby love. It's growing anything and everything. What we've seen very easily is that hip hop has just been growing in itself, in the way that it has been spreading and been a influence on the greater world around it, because it started where it was really only influencing New York, like when it was first born. And then it started greatly influencing um, the culture, the African American culture, and in black spaces. And then it started growing even more and impacting and changing things and growing mindsets in the United States. And now we're at the point where it has grown so much that it's grown out into the world. So it also is bringing growth in that changing of perspectives. Because it's kind of like when if you grew up in a small town and you were always in that small town and you think that's the only way of life, and then you get a computer, so you're old. That story took a turn, but you're old, you didn't have a computer, so then you finally get a computer and it opens you up to the bigger world. It changes your perspective. So, in changing the perspective, now you're growing more as a person, you're growing more as an entity. Oh, good work, Judy. So, Ron is a 61.7. Oh, that's a pretty good. That's a good. Well, I think all of them are good. So that's the big interesting thing that I found out this morning is that just by changing that date from the 11th to the 14th, um, now we're getting this whole new vibe. But my background, and probably most of you don't know this, my background is very much as a scientist and a researcher. And so I've always actually enjoyed the mistakes because some of our greatest mathematical accomplishments, some of our greatest inventions, some of our greatest scientific discoveries have come from a mistake. And so everything means something, fam. Everything means something. So there's a definite reason why that six needed to come into play that we saw last week. Hi, Kels. Thanks for coming. Here's what I'm thinking. You tell me what you think. 41.5. Okay. So before I go on to what I was thinking, let's stop and look at these two numbers real quick. So Ron is a 61 to a 7, and then Judy is a 41 to a 5. So this is just interesting because it means that both of your first steps is 1. So your first step in anything that you're doing in life, in your whole life purpose, regardless of how big or small it is, the first step is to allow something new in. So not to get stuck in the old energy or the old vibration, but to allow something new in. It could be a new way of thinking, it could be a new habit, it could be a new location, it could be a new person. It's just something new. That's your first step to be able to get into that vibrational flow. Then we have the difference of now we're going from the 1 to the 6 versus 1 to a 4. So for 1 to 6, you're using this new energy, whatever this new thing is, you're supposed to be using it to examine comfort zones. Either create a comfort zone or examine comfort zones of yourself or people around you and like challenge it, like challenge those comfort zones. And then by doing that, that gives you a smooth flow vibration in action and flow. Now that makes sense, Judy. If you've moved to 3 different countries, yeah. you're a mover and a shaker, that's probably you're honoring this one. Because for you, this one is allowing some new energy to come in so that you can build new foundations or challenge foundations. So, looking for the cracks in the foundations of the way things are done, um, building up new foundations of living and life and the way of doing things, and that's what you're using that new energy for. So you're drawing in this new energy, using it to challenge and to build foundations, and then that allows you to bring change. That's interesting. You got any questions on either one of you have questions on that? While you're coming up with questions, I'll so for baby love, going from 33 to 6, you're building up this momentum of growth. So it's constantly growing. You as an individual person, and then what you do for others around you is you push them to grow. So anybody that has like a 3 as their second number, which would be like in this position, or is a 3, you probably won't get along with because you're pushing them on their life path. And it's easy for you because these two threes together is a master number and it's easy flow. So it's very easy for you to be able to grow and change, like take your life experiences and grow and change with them. Yeah, that's very interesting. But you grow and change into a place of comfort. So people are very comfortable with you, even if you are challenging them to grow and you're pushing them to grow with you. You're a very comfortable place because 6 is like comfort and family, like a soft place to land. So everybody probably wants to be your friend, which we know is true. Okay, so that fits for you then, Judy, because also a Taurus is all about stability, and that's what that 4 is about also. It's foundation and stability. But that's how I found that mistake when we were looking at hip hop's life path number. Because when I looked at their astrological chart, it didn't seem to match. And usually there's at least some matching, actually quite a few matching pieces between your numerology and your astrology chart. Cool. Okay, this is fun. Okay, here's my theory though. You tell me what you think. So, this is my theory on why that mistake was made and we got a 6. So, last week we got a 6 for hip hop's life path number, but that was incorrect. It's actually a 39, which goes to 3. And then we know the name, so this is life path. And then this is the name, hip hop, is 72, which goes to 9. So, my theory is that two things. We, one, needed to hear the message that hip hop was a place of family, it was a place of gathering, of coming together. And that's why all of those definitions of 42 still fit, even if it wasn't totally correct. But also, my big theory is related to this 369. So 369 is a very powerful sequence of innovation, of creation, and manifestation. So inventors like Tesla and anybody that likes Tesla or is trying to copy Tesla likes to use these 369 techniques of manifestation because it's extremely powerful because of the way that it's building up um, the energy. So we talked about how, well, I've talk about it all the time, how we are in a 9 cycle. So everything that's made in our world, all the vibrations, all the energy, it moves in a 9 cycle and it builds and it manifests in this 9 cycle. But with this 369, it's actually getting us to the end product, which would be after this 9, much quicker than if we went 1 through 9. So it's a building of energy. So it's similar to what we see when we look at a spiral. And most, all, I want to say all, but it's only all the vibrations that I've seen, but I know that I haven't seen them all. But the vibrations that I've seen, they move in this spiral way to build up the energy, to build up the vibration, and then to release it out into the world to be a manifestation of whatever it's meant to be. So I think that's why we were given this 6. I don't know. I might just sound super crazy. You could tell me what you think. But that's my theory. Okay, I'm looking. Okay, I haven't missed anything. I really dislike missing things in the chat. I'm so used to being in the chat. I dislike missing the conversations in the chat. All right, we have one more thing we should do. Oh, thanks, Tarot Gothis. I'm glad it makes sense. Oh, you know what? With that, though, I can give you this little cool technique. It's the 369 journaling technique. So this is a really good way of manifesting, of like envisioning and creating anything that you want. So it's a 369 journaling technique. And it's done a couple of different ways. So the simplest way is to come up with a affirmation or a statement or something that you want to manifest. And you have to remember that in manifesting with vibration and with the universe, you want to be specific enough that you get what you want or a better version, but also broad enough so that it could be something better. So if there's actually something better for you, it could be better. But the way that you do this is you come up with your affirmation. So I don't know. Somebody give me an affirmation. Oh yeah, yeah. That it's a good book. It's presented a lot of different ways too. But you can have an affirmation where, I don't know, let's do, I don't know, I need an affirmation. I don't say affirmations. So I don't know what I used to. Let me see if I can think of what I used to say. Oh, I know one that I actually am saying. Oh, yeah, there we go. Thanks, Tarot Gothis. Yeah, there we go. There we go. There we go. Yes. Oh, but Judy, you have to be careful about timing because the universe doesn't like that. Universe and God, it's their timing. So you would say instead of 2 weeks, you would say in perfect timing. In perfect timing because it might be sooner. So you don't want to limit yourself either. All right, so let's see. I am confident. I am confident. So what you would do is you would write I am confident. You'd write it 3 times in the morning. You'd write it 6 times in the afternoon. And you'd write it 9 times at night every day. And that's building up this energy to be able to manifest it, to make it so. And then you can make this even more powerful if you do these at the same time every day. So, like in the morning time, if it's always like, I don't know, does anybody eat at the same time every day anymore? I don't. But maybe morning is when you wake up. So like when you first wake up. And then at night could be before bed. And then maybe afternoon, lunch might be the only thing that's a little bit consistent. I don't know. Okay, Judy, I'm glad you don't either because I do not. But you can make it even more powerful by having it be as close to the same time. Kind of like medicine. Like, when they tell you the crazy medicine that you have to take it at the same time every day, or you have to take it only this much in this amount of time. But it is kind of the same thing where it's building up the amount in your body and it's maintaining it. Same thing here. You're manifesting, you're building up this manifestation. And then you can go even further with numerology, and we can actually get this numerical vibration. Um, so I'm sure everybody knows because I've been saying it so much. But I am is 23. And confident is 90. So if we do 23 plus 90, we get 113. So then we could actually look at, so you could add your life path number to this 113 because then it could better help you show how you'll become more confident, how you'll be able to build that up into reality. But you could also do where you take 113 times 3 is 339. And then 113 times 6. This is how I do it. But it's because I like the numbers. You all can just do the writing if you want to. But I like building up the vibrations and understanding what I'm building up. So 678 and then 113 times 9 and we add those together. So every day you're generating this vibration of 2034. which then goes to a 9. That my face is in the way. So then it's this number. Good. Okay, good. We love teacher brain. But then it's this 2034 that you could take and add your life path number to better understand um, how to work through this path. Because this is just the general path. So for everybody, the way that you would become more confident by using this technique is you would build up a new foundation. You would also test the foundations and examine the foundations for faults or for cracks. And then you would grow. That's the 3. And then allow in divine, God, universal energy of the 0. And then getting rid of your double talk, getting rid of the extremes. And then that's how you could become more confident, and you could end the cycle of not being confident anymore. But you can make this very specific by adding your life path number to it. So I think this came from Tarot Gothis. But everybody has their life path numbers now. But if we did this 2034 plus the 29, because I remember that one. Now we get 2060, which is interesting because you may not see it, but this is actually your life path number also. Because this adds up to 9, and then there's the 2. So to build up this energy, to build confidence for yourself, Tarot Gothis, so very specific to you, you would first grow. So grow and expand, whether it's expanding the way you think, your perspective, it's getting more experience in the world, and then finding a place of comfort and examining what you're comfortable with. And then that allows you to let this universal, like, God energy in. So then you're able to get rid of these extremes. So no more going back and forth between the extremes of I'm confident, I'm not confident. You get to end that. And then this actually goes to an 11 too, just like your life path number. So this is actually a really good affirmation for you. And it would be a really good affirmation for you to use with this technique. So that's actually also what I think hip hop is doing, and why we needed to get that 6, so that we could see that this is what's happening. Is this energy is building and building and building and building, and expanding out. Like, that's the growth. Oh, we have one more thing to do for hip hop. Now that we have its new life path number. Let me know if you want me to go back to anything, like if you need screenshots or something. I can do that. So we need to take the name hip hop, so it's 72 vibration number, and we need to add it to its life path number. Oh, whoa. Really? Okay. And we get, that's why I hesitated. We get an angel number. So the 2 vibrations of hip hop its name, and then its life path number based on August 11th, 1973 gives us an angel number of 111. Goes to a 3. So, the vibration of hip hop overall is to bring all of this brand new energy into the world. It's meant to forever be on the forefront of what's new and helping everybody within hip hop, but also outside observing hip hop to grow. Because that's this 3. Well, that's cool. I like that better than the 114, even though the 114 fit too. Yeah, that's a lot of new energy and a lot of growth energy. Very interesting. Does this still fit? Do these vibrations still fit? I think they do. What do you think? Yeah, very amazing. Very cool. Yeah. Okay, good. I'm glad you're feeling it too. And there's one of your angel numbers, baby love. Right there in hip hop. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. That's very cool. Very cool. So, I think what we can talk about next, unless anybody has a number or questions or something else they want to talk about, I can show you how some of these vibrations, using hip hop as an example, are overlapping and like very much yeah, layers. Oh, that's a good one, baby love. Yeah, let's look at Kendrick. And it's so weird because it's weird for me to like um do these because it's kind of like doing somebody's birth chart and like looking into their brain, into their life, and it feels weird when they're not around or don't give permission. But I think that's part of the cost of being a celebrity. Stop being so amazing and we won't want to look at you all the time. Or annoying. There's those too. All right, so Kendrick Lamar's birthday. So, first, we already know, well, I know, shouldn't say we, because you don't. Um, oh, wait, what did you say, Judy? Let me see. Let me see if I can make, um, oh, it doesn't, you can write any affirmation, it just has to be the same one. And usually you want to do that for like 40 days. So you write it 3 times, 6 times, 9 times a day, and usually you do it for 40 days, and it could be any affirmation you want. Yeah, you just want, and there I had some that I went longer than 40 days, um, because it needed more energy. It like Yeah, it needed to be bigger. But you could also do the 369 technique with like the moon cycles. So like next week, yeah, next week already on the 22nd, we have a new moon. So you could pick like a really big affirmation and then be able to start doing that 369 technique on the new moon. And then you should be able to see some manifestations of that work in 2 weeks at the next full moon, and then also in 6 months at the next Virgo full moon, and then and 2.5 years. So you could set different goals. Yeah, I've done that before too. That's a good one. Okay, okay, okay. Get back to this. Okay, so Kendrick Lamar, what I do know is when we add up his name, we get 120. So that's already interesting because with hip hop having that 3912, um, Kendrick Lamar also has this 12 in here. But I think in one of my, yeah, in my video about Kendrick Lamar and Drake's Karma, I talked about how Kendrick Lamar has this 0 in here. So this is like God energy. It's that God or universe energy that amplifies his changing of perspectives. So he's meant with his vibration of his name is meant to change perspectives and to grow, to help everybody grow. But he has to grow himself first. Don't be sorry. That's kind of how my brain works. I'd be all over the place. We'll always, so, but that one good thing because my brain works like that, we'll always get back on track somehow. So let's get back. Let's see. So June 17th, is it? Yeah, 87. So one thing that is interesting, I always say that a lot. Maybe that should be my slogan. One thing that's interesting. It's kind of boring though, but I say it a lot. So, one thing that's interesting is that Kendrick Lamar was born on June 17th, but Tupac's birthday is June 16th. So that's interesting. They're both these Geminis that are in a very similar placement in the zodiac chart. But let's look at this calculation. We have 1 plus 9 plus 10. Add 6. Add. So Kendrick Lamar's life path number is 48. And this 48 is also a 12 to a 3. So his name and his life path number are both resonating with changing perspectives and building growth within himself and in others. That's interesting. Let me get my handy dandy book here that I have to take my glasses off for. Let me see. So 48. All right. So 48. The first sentence is worldly success comes to you quite easily. Now, does it? I think it does. So, worldly success comes to you quite easily. However, as each possession is gained, you set it aside and go on searching for the satisfaction it should have brought. So, never stopping. So, Kendrick Lamar's vibration is that success is easy for him, but he's always on this fast pace of going to the next big thing, the next big thing. That makes so much sense. And it makes so much sense why it's so hard for anybody to keep up with him or catch up with him. So, yeah, it says you yearn for something more. And when you realize that the material world alone cannot offer you the necessary fulfillment, so he cannot be satisfied just with worldly material. Like, he gets to a point where he doesn't even care about that. You may turn towards the spiritual. So, as soon as he realizes that the material world does not satisfy what he really wants in life or wants to give to the world, he turns to the spiritual. Wow. Says, though, you should not, however, turn your back completely on the mundane, for that could obstruct the practical mechanisms of living. So he can't completely go to the spiritual side because then it could make it hard to live. Learn to use the material without depending on it. So use the material world and material gains without being dependent on it. That's crazy accurate. That's actually kind of scary accurate. um, let's see. You are romantic, sincere, and affectionate. You have high ideals. You appreciate beauty and the arts and have your share of creative ability. Yes, I would say he has his share for sure. Okay, this next line. Okay, I got to put the book down just for a second because this next sentence really kind of freaked me out. It freaked. I got to breathe. All right, maybe I need a little bit of water because that's a little bit too accurate. That kind of scared me. Oh wow. Mhm. Okay. 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 Woo. This next line. Your psychic and prophetic abilities are well developed. Your impressionable nature would find the arts a good channel for success. So, using psychic and prophetic abilities to gain success in the impressionable nature that you have. Wow. Okay, that's why I had to put the book down because it freaked me out. Yeah, scary accurate. It says you are quiet, persistent, and dependable, but you may be too psychic and sensitive for your own comfort. I can't with this. I can't. I can't with this. This is crazy. You have a good sense of values and prefer to live conservatively. So, not worrying about material things. You believe in giving a good day's work to your employer. You believe in doing hard work? What? If you were the boss, you would expect the same from your employees. So you give a good day's work and then expect that from everybody else? Come on. Wow. A sense of fair play is one of your assets. You have the ability to see both sides of a problem and judge fairly. Wow. 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 And there's a whole nother paragraph. Learning to laugh in the face of difficulties will relieve your intolerance of the purely materialistic side of life. So, being able to laugh and be joyful in life will help all of the materialism of the world not seem so daunting. Wow. You must remember that your keen sense of responsibility towards others, your sympathy for their suffering, and your desire to do your part in the community and the world can be expressed through material means in many cases. Oh my gosh, this is so freaking accurate. It's creepy. Your love of animals and need to protect them is expressed here also. I don't know. Does Kendrick like animals? I don't know. I've never heard. You must detach yourself from materialism, though you may be required to use materialistic means to accomplish your mission. So you have to be in those materialistic places. You have to gain the materialism to be able to fulfill your mission, but not get caught up in them and not be reliant on them or dependent on them or have them be the full focus because that's not the actual mission. Wow. Wow. And Tarot Gothis, this one's for you. The tarot symbolism is the Eight of Cups. So building up full cups, all of the consciousness and the five senses are all under your control. And then you walk away to rebuild again. Wow. Wow. Well, that was scary accurate. That was like super scary accurate. My goodness. Oh my goodness. That was a good one. We'll have to look at his chart too to see because even just the part of talking about the use of play and curiosity of like laughing in the face of difficulties, that's very Gemini. That's very Gemini energy. So, and we know he's a Gemini sun. So that very much fits also. Wow. So let's do one more thing here. Let's add up this name vibration and the life path number of Kendrick Lamar. Get 168. And look, there's our six. There's our six again. But this 168 is very interesting also because this eight is like those infinitely cycling energies. So it's being highly aware of them. And that is like this the psychic prophetic energies are cycling energy. It's also like karma energy. So he's very hyper aware of those and he's supposed to be aware of those and using those. So his first step is being aware of these infinitely cycling energies, understanding how things are cycling, how history repeats itself, how things come back in the end, making sure that he has good habits and routines, which we've seen him do. And that's his first step to be able to then get to this place of comfort where he's very comfortable with himself, where he stands in the world and his places around him, and he can make other people feel very comfortable. And then that allows brand new energy to come in. And with that, here again for Tarot Gothis and my other tarot readers, then he gets to this 15 where he's bringing in change, but it's not just regular change. because the 15 in the tarot is the devil card. So it's actually questioning you, it's asking you, are you making a change that's going to put you in bondage or one that's going to free you? Will you be freed by the change that you're making, or will you be putting yourself or others in bondage, or will you be freeing them? That's very interesting. But by bringing this change in, then more new energy is brought into the space, it's brought into the world, and you're creating a new place of comfort. So that's his vibration is to bring a change in perspective. That's that 12. So that we can get to this place of comfort. Oh, when for name, we use so whenever you're using any letters, I always use the A is 1. Oh my gosh. So used to drawing arrows, I drew another arrow. Um I do A is 1 and Z is 26. So I retain the double digits in the letters. And then reduce down after you get the double or triple digit, then reduce down to um, the single. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do, let's go ahead and spin our random um, number wheel and see what number we and vibration we should be looking for this week. And then next week, we'll talk more. What I could do is I'll pull the birth chart for Kendrick Lamar and I'll pull the birth chart for hip hop. And we'll look next week at how the numerology connects to the astrology. We'll do that next week. Or whatever else comes up. We'll be flexible. All right, so let me get a blank page here and go find the. And yeah, the next thing is to find this random number generator. It's at least up there on the screen. All right, so let's use this random number generator. This is set to be between 0 and 999. So any single, double, or 3-digit numbers. So let's see what number we're to look out for this week. Here it goes. Whoa, it's spinning a long time. Interesting. Okay. All right, so let me come back over here to my writing screen. That's interesting. So our number for this week is 540. So we'll want to look for 540, but also 54. and it's going to be themes around 9. So the ending of things, so things ending. So we'll want to see if we are seeing any vibrations or themes of things ending or energy shifting. And we continuously have this conversation of the energy in hip hop shifting. So I'm sure we'll hear more of that. But we should be looking for endings, but also 54 is the numerical vibration of the word love. So any themes of love. Also, 54 is the numerical vibration of the word oracle. And so oracles are, where they give you the prophecies. So this week, we actually want to look for these numbers. That's what I was thinking, Judy. That's what I was thinking. But I didn't want to say it out loud because I didn't want to jinx it. But we're looking for any of these. So 540, 54, 9, themes of ending or shifting, information or like things about love, which seems too general. So that's, I think, why Oracle is also coming out, where it's anything of these like prophecies fulfilled. Okay, so we'll come back here on Saturday, and the first thing we'll do is we'll see where we have seen 540 or nines. Yeah, it'll be great. Thank you so much for being here. We'll start next Saturday with looking to see where we saw these vibrational themes, where we saw them, and then we'll jump back in and we'll start looking at more vibrations. We can look at the astrological chart and how the numerology and vibrations go along with that. Um, we could look at both hip hop and we'll look at Kendrick Lamar. But also come and let me know if there's anything else or anybody else, any other artists or anything you want to look at also. Good, I'm glad you enjoyed it. This was so much fun for me too. I'm really liking our Saturdays play with vibration days. Thank you so much, Judy. Thank you, everybody. Please make sure on the way out that you hit that like button. And I'll see you next week. I'll make sure to do a review also. I'll put a review together of all of this so that we have this information somewhere else also. Bye, everybody. Thank you.